Australia. But Oregon was the first school to show real interest, and the first school to officially offer me, and I took it and ran with it, and I could not be happier. It's worked out perfectly.
Eric?
Tom, you mentioned watching some NFL, watching American football. Are there any nuances to the game that you've been surprised of, that you've learned while you've been here, like any small things? And I guess maybe how has that shaped your game?
I don't know about that. I think the biggest thing for me, just seeing it in person on the sidelines, is I have such an appreciation now, seeing what these guys do on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Normally I'm watching it at 5 a.m. on a TV in Australia. So seeing it up close and personal just made me appreciate it, the speed that they have, and, some of the athletic plays that, our players and players on the other sidelines, they make it just insane. So I think my appreciation for the game has just grown so much more since I've been here and sort of been immersed, in it and around it.
Kevin Wade, 247 Sports.
Just curious, have you made any connections with any of the other Australian punters that are here in the U.S., either college level or higher?
Yeah, so, the Pro Kick family, so coming back to it, Pro Kick Australia is the academy that I trained with, and so did a lot of Australians who are in college around the country. But the Pro Kick Australia family is a real, and a very genuine thing. Once you graduate from that academy and you come to college, all the boys sort of stay in touch with each other. I'm very grateful to where I think there's maybe 5, if not 6 other Australians in the Pac-12. Like this past week, I saw Ben Griffiths at USC, who I trained with in Australia and stuff. So, it's a great opportunity to have sort of some more or less family around you. You get to see another Aussie who's sort of been through the same process and knows just what you're experiencing. It's really good. It does you good to sort of catch up with them and stuff. But I'm very lucky that we have I think 5 or 6 guys in the conference that I'm close with through the Pro Kick Australia ties.
Hey, Rogerson, KZI.
Tom, when you evaluate this year, looking back at everything that's happened since March through this moment right now, what has been the biggest thing you've learned from 2020?
Just to take nothing for granted. This season more than anything shown us that, overnight things can flip switch and you can wake up and, suddenly half the team or, a good amount of players are, out with contact tracing or just anything in between. So, the biggest thing I've learned is just not to take anything for granted and stuff. And that's reflected in my personal life too. It's just been a really long year, just as I'm sure it is for everyone, and a lot's gone on. So I think just, not taking everything for granted has been my biggest lesson from 2020 for sure.
That's all we have for you, Tom. Appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thanks heaps, guys.